Hi, I'm Joel,
And I'm Michael.
and you're listening to another episode of Nintendo Indirect, where we talk about all the latest Nintendo news, announcements, and rumors. So we're just gonna kind of jump in right away. Uh, so a new Nintendo game came out this week, yesterday actually, or no, it was today. Today was the first day.
Yep.
Yesterday, for the people who are listening, the day after today, and then kind of extend that the more days away from this that you listen to it. You know. Anyway, so the game we're talking about is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So I had the chance to pick up. I actually pre-ordered this game because I was pretty hyped for it. I love Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, and I was ready to go bananas, so to speak.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order, and I had no trouble getting a copy.
Yeah, no, there's no reason for me to pre-order. Basically, it's just to prevent myself from spending the money that I should have spent on Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on something else. So.
In fact, I think I was the first person to pick one up today.
Which that's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, but
What time did you wake up?
well, I was there at about 2.
Oh, all those unbought copies of Donkey Kong. What a sad, sad fate. Did you get it at EB Games?
Yes, I did.
Was the employee that served you, were they wearing a DK tie?
No.
Oh, because they gave them out to the employees at our EB Games.
If they did that here, the guy definitely wasn't partaking.
He probably just hates Donkey Kong, and he's like, no, no. Just so everybody listening knows, that is Michael laughing. That is the sound of Michael laughing. I think that's the first time he's laughed in the 4 weeks we've been doing this already. Hey,
I'm,
we've already been doing this a month. Wow, look at that.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Donkey Kong. So I briefly had the chance to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze today before I had to go to work, to my real job. Um, I actually really, really enjoy it so far. I only played to World 1, Level 2, so I didn't get very far. It didn't get to the point where it's like bone-crushingly frustrating yet. But the first two levels I found were actually very just relaxing, and just it was just a good time.
Yeah. I mean, as tutorial levels, they were pretty well designed, I'd say.
Yeah, and my favorite Donkey Kong Country character made a return. Know who I'm talking about, Michael?
Dixie?
Nope.
Funky?
Checkpoint Pig.
Oh.
You should know this.
He's not really a character.
He totally is a character.
There are multiple versions of him.
So? There's multiple Game & Watches. There's multiple Robs. There's multiple um, Waddle Dees. Waddle Dee's a character, isn't he?
Yeah, but those are species.
Yeah, well, Checkpoint Pig is a species, I guess. They're just born with glasses.
They're like a family of tutorial pigs.
Checkpoint Pig is such better sounding. Such better sounding.
It's kind of long.
Checkpoint Pig. Just rolls off the tongue.
Okay, if that makes you happy.
But yeah, I was really happy to see him come back, because he is actually the best character in Smash Bros. Or not in Smash Bros. In Donkey Kong.
Burn on all the other Donkey Kong characters.
Yeah, shots fired. I can't remember. In Donkey Kong Country Returns, were the levels timed?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Like there was the time attack that you could do, but just regular play. No, they weren't.
I found I think I didn't notice before, because like I was always in such a rush to beat levels in Donkey Kong Country Returns, but like there's so much to look at in Tropical Freeze that like I really took my time like going through levels and like just trying to like look at things in the background and Is just really like relaxing almost.
Did you catch the throwback to returns in the first level?
Maybe.
It's right at the beginning. If you go back inside the plane, there are a bunch of TVs that have the title screen for Donkey Kong Country Returns on them.
Oh, I didn't go back inside. I should have. I don't know why I didn't, because I usually like find most of the secrets. I didn't even think about it.
All there was a red balloon in there.
That's one red balloon, Michael.
Yeah.
One red balloon that was left behind.
Well, there will be a lot of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I found so far that like coins and balloons and stuff in general are just a lot more accessible.
Yeah, well, they need to be, because I guess you probably didn't go to Funky's shop yet, but...
I did once actually. I bought a bunch of the Gachapon figures,
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense for the coins.
And it just drives me crazy, because I just keep getting, like, the same three.
Yeah, I got Funky Kong like twice, Donkey Kong like 3 times, and I think Tux like 2.
But, I mean, I spent 100 coins, and I got one new figure.
Nice.
God, what a waste.
Now you know how I feel in real life collecting Gachapons. Except it's real money I'm losing.
That's why you just wait for all of them to be available on eBay.
That's cheating.
Meh.
But it's kind of interesting how they're doing the Gachapon thing. Do you notice that a lot of Nintendo games do that? Like Wonderful 101 has like a Gachapon system. Like Smash Bros. Obviously, that's pretty much like where they came from. Game and Wario had their little Gachapon thing.
Well, I mean, it's just a way to collect stuff. I mean, in Wonderful 101, it's just to keep civilians held captive.
Yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know. It's just weird that it's like this giant theme like amongst all Nintendo's games. Like, well, a lot of them more frequently recently.
Japanese company is going to have Japanese things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what else do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the 3 buddies you get.
Okay.
I love playing as Dixie. Like, before this game, I was never big on Dixie Kong.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at her old renders, she looks like 90s trash. I mean, she really does. She has the knee pads. She wears like a headband underneath her hat, and it's just awful.
Well, it's the '90s, right? They're trying to appeal to people. Like, obviously, like look at Funky Kong. Like,
Funky is kind of I think he's supposed to be kind of ironic though. but I mean, but in this game, Dixie Kong, she actually looks cute. Like in that opening movie where they're all at Donkey Kong's house, you know? She looks cute in the same way, you know, a puppy does.
I like how you just clarify that. Just I really like when you're swimming with her and you can just hold A and like her hair turns into a propeller. I thought that was really neat.
But gosh, poor Diddy. I mean, he's like the most useless character in the game. I mean, he's only there because they have to have Diddy Kong.
Do you think it would have been better if they had taken Diddy out and like replaced him with another of the Kongs? Like we could have had like Lanky Kong or something. Like imagine Lanky Kong was on DK's back, and like when you're climbing on vines, Lanky could like stretch his arms, and you could like grab things that were lower, without having to risk to like jump down and like get it.
I guess, but I mean, like you understand that it has to be Diddy because it's Diddy Kong. You know, it'd be like leaving out Luigi. But I mean,
but that happens all the time.
Yeah, I guess. But it would be like leaving out Luigi, but having Wario there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I mean, I cannot see myself
Wait. Hasn't that happened?
What do you mean?
Didn't Super Mario 64 DS have Mario, Wario, and Yoshi playable?
And Luigi.
Was Luigi playable? Because I only remember 3 of them on the box art.
No, there was 4 of them.
Okay, he must be really like in the background. Being
I think he just blends in because he's all green.
Okay. Alright, I'm wrong. Okay, let's keep going.
But, I just can't ever see myself using Diddy Kong again in this game. Because Dixie's... her hair propeller, it's such a good save whenever you miss a jump, but Diddy doesn't give you that. He moves you further, but there's no real recovery to what he does.
For people who haven't played it yet, or aren't going to play it, when you hold A button with Dixie Kong on your back, she propellers with her hair, and you go forward a little bit, and then it like dips up, so you have like a bit of like a saving grace. If you were falling, you could just kind of float up again, which is like really good with like a platformer like Donkey Kong Country.
Like Cranky Kong, he's going to be situational. You use him whenever you need to jump over something great distances, like a field of thorns.
Yeah.
But Diddy, I just don't see ever having to use him.
So you use Cranky Kong already, right?
Yeah, you get him on 1-3.
Yeah, I figured, because, yeah. What's his cane bounce like? Is it, like, hard to use, or hard to repeat, or anything?
Well, it's not automatic, so you have to do it each time.
Yeah.
At first, I found it really tough to do, but over time, it's become pretty simple.
Yeah. That's like anything, though, in video games.
Yeah.
Much.
But like, it's not going to be like DuckTales where you can just hold down and he'll do his thing. You need to actually put the work into it.
That's like Cranky Kong's like motto, though.
Yeah.
Probably like, back in my day,
we had to do every jump ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I actually really like the Snowmads as characters.
You know what? I do too. I think Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has by far the best character design of all of Retro's games.
Yeah. I think as enemies, they're way better than the Tiki Tribe from...
Oh yeah, those guys were horrible. I was not a fan of them at all.
Yeah.
Like some of the bosses, like the Colonel Cluck, he was okay.
I don't think I got that far. Was that the one that you have to like? He's in an egg, right?
No. He's this chicken, and he pilots a mech that you have to jump on. You need to break the cockpit open.
Oh no, I didn't get that far.
He's the boss of the factory world.
Yeah, I'm stuck in like World 5 in the caves with like with the rocket levels, and it's just like oh.
Oh god, that's World 4.
Okay, yeah, then yeah, it's terrible. Like, it just makes me want to stop playing the game, which I pretty much have at this point. But
you should be better than me at those types of games.
I'm not okay at it, but then there's like, there's so many times you'll be just before a checkpoint, and like you'll just smash in the ground, and he's like, and it's just like no.
Yeah.
It actually just makes me want to cry, like thinking about it. Just how much anguish went into playing that level with the giant bat.
Oh yeah, that.
And as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure like the rocket levels, you do more of them in World 8, I think, and they just get harder and harder.
Well, I haven't beaten the game either, but I think World 8 is just the one rocket level.
I don't even want to see what it's like though. Like, no. If that bat is in Tropical Freeze, I'm not gonna play Tropical Freeze anymore.
The Squidicus is in it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that picture of him. But if that bat is back, like, no game, man. No game.
I loved Squidicus. I think he was my favorite enemy from Returns.
He was pretty intense in that game, like, just messing things up. My favorite enemy is actually the sharks. Are they called Sharky or are they just sharks?
I couldn't tell you.
I feel like they should be called Sharky. I just love the way they like bark at you, like when they get to the top of their jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cute. Like it's funny.
Well, I just think in this game, Retro really hit their stride with character design. Like in the Metroid Prime series, I felt they kind of tried too hard to make it dark and gritty.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just looks fantastic. And I mean, I know this is going to be a controversial opinion, but Retro does not know how to model human beings. All the human characters in the Metroid Prime series look horrible.
How many times do you even see other humans?
Well, whenever Samus unmasks, and in Corruption, there are all sorts of humans in that game.
I never played Corruption.
Every time we talk, you always say, "Oh, I never played that game."
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I can't play every single game in the history of the world, Michael. Sorry, I'm not a superhuman.
You should be.
I have the game, too, because I have the Metroid Prime trilogy. It's just a matter of time, like, of when I'm going to do it.
You see those people literally in the first 5 minutes of the game?
Yeah, but I have to beat Metroid Prime 2, and then do Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I can't just jump into Corruption. I might miss valuable plot details from the first two games, Michael.
You won't.
I might!
You won't.
Well, I'll have to take my own word for that. I can't trust you. Anyways. Stressed me out now.
But, since we were on the topic of the Snowmads,
yeah.
What do you think of them replacing the Kremlings?
I don't know. Like, it almost seems like they're, like, reskinned Kremlings in a way. Like, you know the Waldos, those walrus guys?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they walk, they just remind me of, like, clumps, like, so much. And I'm just like, eh.
Well, they've got some good unique guys. Like there are these archers that fire fish at you. I don't think there was anything like that in the original trilogy.
No, there's like claptraps, clumps, and those bigger guys. I don't remember their names.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I think diversity is good, but I would like to see the Kremlings return. Like, you know I like the Kremlings.
Mm-hmm, you do.
What's not to like about a crocodile with a belly button in a soldier hat?
Yeah. I mean, they're not horrible designs, but I think it's nice to change it up.
Yeah.
If Retro was to make a third game,
I think they need to make Kremlings. Like, they've already done two different enemies. Like, you need to have it go back. I don't know.
Well, what I'd have them do is I'd have it kind of like Tropical Freeze, where you have different islands, but instead it's like a pirate armada, and each island has a different type of pirate ruling it, and the final island has you facing the Kremlings.
Like Captain K. Rool?
Yeah. Or maybe troll everyone and have the Kremlings on the first island, and then you never see them again after that point.
People would be so upset. I don't know how Tropical Freeze ends yet, and I don't know if you know, do you?
Yeah, I've seen the ending.
Okay, I don't want to know. Don't spoil it for me. But, like, it'd be interesting if, like, you found out that, like, King K. Rool had been, like, sailing all over the, like, world or whatever, and he found the Snowmads, and, like, he sent the Snowmads to Donkey Kong Island to, like, stop him, basically, like, to, like, foil him. And then, like, after Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong, like, searches out K. Rool and, like, takes him down, you know? I have no idea what happens at the end of Tropical Freeze, so...
Why would a reptile ally with a species that specializes in ice and snow?
Why are mammals fighting mammals? You think that like a walrus would be friends with Donkey Kong, who is a gorilla? They're both mammals. You think they'd both side against the Kremlings?
But there are no Kremlings.
You just think they're retconned forever?
Not retconned, retired.
I know so many people are just holding out hope, just because K. Rool was in Mario Sluggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people they're just like, yeah, he's not dead. Like, he'll be back. He was in Sluggers, so he's gonna come back.
Well, I mean, he is a Nintendo character. I mean, and any talk about them being owned by Rare is just untrue.
I find that's a really, really a common like opinion. So I guess we should just clear that up. So like, Rare doesn't own anything in the Donkey Kong Country series because it's a Nintendo IP. Nintendo just asked Rare to make the game. So Rare made them up and like made the assets, but they're owned by Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
the exception to that, though, are any characters that would have appeared in Banjo and Banjo-Kazooie.
Or like Diddy Kong Racing. Like
well, I'm not even sure about the Diddy Kong Racing characters because in Diddy Kong Racing DS, Conker and Banjo were removed, but pretty much all the other characters were still there.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I don't even. We should look into that some more actually after this.
We'll never see those guys again, so it doesn't really matter. But
yeah, I guess they're kind of just like filler characters to fill the roster of the game.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, I guess they probably are Nintendo characters, because I mean, Tricky is in Diddy Kong Racing, and you've got Tricky in Star Fox, and he appears in Star Fox Assault, so... And I think he even has a trophy in Brawl, so... I don't know, it's just a big web of mystery.
I'll look it up later, and we can talk about it some other time.
Okay.
Okay, so back to Donkey Kong. How do you find the music in Tropical Freeze?
It's good. Like, I've only played the first world, so I haven't really heard a lot of it so far, but like, I know that some of the later levels, they have really good stuff.
Oh yeah, like, just from videos you've seen?
Yeah. But, I mean, the first world, it's still pretty good. Not super amazing or anything, but I know deeper in the game there's some really great stuff there. I mean, David Wise, he's just a great composer. He actually did the score for the original Donkey Kong Country, so a lot of people were hyped to see him back.
Yeah.
And he's done good work again.
DKCR had like okay music, but it wasn't like original Donkey Kong Country quality, you know?
I find the worst part about it was the music board that was used. I mean, Kenji Yamamoto, he does so many games, but he has to have the worst soundboard at Nintendo.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I mean, like, Koji Kondo and Yokota, those guys, they'll give them a full orchestra and whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
But with him, it's like, no, use your soundboard.
Peasant.
And I mean,
that's true, actually, yeah.
And I mean, he's been there since the 80s, but they still give him all the crap to work with.
Maybe he just really hates orchestras, and like it's like a specific request from him.
I guess, but you'd think then he'd ask for a better soundboard. But
that's too funny. So I guess, do you have anything more to talk about Tropical Freeze? Like, I I feel like I played it, but I haven't played it enough to really like give like a good over like in-depth kind of evaluation of it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't really have more to say, that's pretty much it that we can discuss.
I don't want to like draw it out too much, right?
Yeah.
So I guess let's just talk about retro in general. So,
okay.
If you don't know who Retro Studios is, Retro Studios made Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. They made Donkey Kong Country Returns. They made all the Metroid Prime trilogy, and they also did all the retro courses and the Donkey Kong Country course in Mario Kart 7. And before that, they were like their own studio, and then Nintendo bought them, and pretty much they're just like a bona fide Nintendo studio now.
Well, my understanding is that when the studio was founded, they were created with the purpose that they'd always be working with Nintendo.
Yep.
But in their early days, the management really wasn't good at the studio, and there was corruption there. Like
yeah, I read this huge article actually, and it talked about retro for a bit.
Yeah, like, the IGN article.
The Dolphin Tail one.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you read that whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Man, that was long.
It was interesting.
It was. There was a lot of interesting history in there. But basically, yeah, retro was like it was used as like a boys' club, and like the managers would like throw their money around and like just do a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be doing at a company.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Nintendo of America, they just cleaned house, and they're like, well, if we put this much money into them, we may as well just buy them out and make sure that things don't go wrong.
Yeah, and since then they've been making good games, so.
Yeah, it's kind of funny looking back at their early beginnings, and I mean, they had a lot of crap prototypes out. I mean, there are a lot of people that defend the games just because they were made by Retro, but they really look like crap.
But they have prototypes too, right? So.
Yeah, they are, but they a lot of them just look so generic. Like I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Raven Blade.
No.
But it was an RPG.
That was for GameCube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know a lot about it though.
It was an RPG they were developing for the GameCube, and it just looked like the most generic Western RPG ever. I mean, there was no sense of imagination in that thing. But I mean, now, the stuff they make is just fantastic. It's amazing what a little over a decade can do.
Well, I was reading something earlier that was saying like how basically retro is considered like on par with like EAD and stuff now. Like they're just considered like a full-fledged Nintendo development division. Like,
well, I mean, technically they are anyway, so.
Yeah, but they have like a lot of respect, right? Like,
yeah,
you'd think like something like such a new division of Nintendo, like they'd kind of like look down upon. I don't know that. I just imply that. I don't know why. It just feels like that's how it would work in my head, but.
Well, I think it's just that you can't really argue with the results. I mean, they haven't made a bad game. I mean, they've made games that people have had mixed opinions on, but no one would ever say those games are bad.
Yeah. So what do you think about Retro hiring so many new employees? I'm raising my eyebrows up and down. For
yeah, I kind of figured from your tone. I just don't know really how much you can look into that, because Retro has traditionally always had a great deal of employee.
I'm gonna stop you right there. New Metroid.
Do you think they want to be known as the Metroid Company, though?
Yes.
Why?
Because last time Metroid was taken by another studio, it was messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, people already know them as the Metroid studio. Like, Metroid Prime did so well. Like, even look at Metroid Prime Trilogy. That that one set of Wii games is like worth so much money now because it's just it's rare and it's just valuable from like a collector's standpoint.
Well, so Xenoblade.
Yeah, but Xenoblade is under different circumstances. Like Metroid Prime Trilogy is rare because they didn't print so many copies, but like it was so widely wanted. Like everybody who has played GameCube has probably played Metroid Prime. Everybody who owns a Wii, it's unlikely they've played Xenoblade, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, but there was like 10 times more Wii's sold than GameCubes.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean? Like Xenoblade isn't like a household name. Like a lot of people probably don't even know that it's a Nintendo IP.
I I just don't think they want to be people that, go to work every day and, you're making Metroid and that's all you're ever going to make.
But the thing is, I'm afraid if they don't make Metroid, nobody else will.
I'm pretty sure that there is a Metroid game being made in Japan for 3DS.
Pretty sure?
Yeah, I'd bet money on it.
Are you just speculating, or do you have some sort of proof behind this?
I have nothing, but it just makes sense to me.
So what do you think Retro's working on then that they need to hire? Like, it's been like over 20 positions they've opened for people to work with them, so...
But as I was going to say before you interrupted me, this is a company where they really have a lot of people that are there and then they quit and move somewhere else. I mean, it's been like that since day one.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to the Iwata Asks for Donkey Kong Country Returns, none of those guys are at the company anymore. They've all moved on to other places.
That's sad.
Yeah, like, a lot of them, they moved to the studio that made Halo 4.
343 Industries?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, they gotta do what they feels right for them.
Yeah. That's true. But, I don't know, what do you think their Retro's making then?
Well, it could be anything. I mean, maybe there's another game that they need assets made for, and they've got people doing that.
Well, they did a really good job on Mario Kart 7, so maybe they're asking them to work on Mario Kart 8 assets.
That game does look really good.
Yeah, well, there's that rumor, I guess, about the track editor in Mario Kart 8. Maybe they're developing that.
Maybe. But, EAD, they've had people that know how to make those. I mean, F-Zero X had that expansion pack where it had a track editor.
Yeah.
So, they've got people there that know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe they're even making a new Star Fox game.
I would just like to point out that if Mario Kart 8 has a track editor, my mind is just gonna be blown.
Well, we'll see. If it's in a store's statement, I'd say it's probably true.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out.
I'm much more willing to believe something that comes out from a store's description than what some guy on a forum says.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I guess it's like that other rumor that there's going to be like a Luigi Mansion Dark Moon version for Wii U. And
yeah.
I forget what store was that.
Uh.
But they were like, yeah, it's coming out, and people were like, is this true? And they're like, yeah, it's true. And is it actually happening? Like, nobody knows.
I don't think it is. I think someone probably just got their wires crossed and put that up by mistake.
But I'm just saying, that's an example of, like, that kind of thing.
I mean, that's someone actually, physically writing down something into the product description.
Yeah.
It's kind of different than, pressing the wrong box that puts up a game.
Yeah. Agreed. Do you think Retro would be working on Star Fox?
Why not? I mean, it's got similar art style to Donkey Kong.
I guess, yeah. I feel like it'd be kind of like a nice change for them because like Donkey Kong's such like natural kind
Mm-hmm.
of elements, like design elements, whereas like Star Fox is all angles and like machinery, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Trying to think of what other games like they could make that would be like.
Of course, it could always be an original IP.
That's true.
Or Donkey Kong Country 3. Or 6, if you want to go there.
Yeah, I'd call it 6. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3. Specifically Returns.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make another Donkey Kong. I think it has to be something that isn't a platformer.
What if it was a 3D platformer?
No, I don't think a platformer is necessary right now.
There is a lot of them on Wii U, I admit.
Yeah. They'll revive Donkey Konga.
Oh, God. The meltdowns that would happen if that were true.
Donkey Kong Jungle Beats returns. I can't really think of anything else that like, unless they make an F-Zero game. Just saying. Like,
Yeah.
I know Star Fox is probably more likely than F-Zero.
They're making Donkey Kong.
Okay, we're just gonna assume that they're making Donkey Kong Jungle Beats returns from now on. Retro's new game. That's why they needed so many employees, is because they want to perfect the play of Donkey Kong Jungle Beats. They can make it better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, and in this game you have showdowns with bosses to see who can beat the beat better.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, but they still wouldn't have K. Rool in it.
No. all snowmads.
Which is weird because you think they'd have the Tiki Tribe because they're like musical instruments.
Snowmads playing on the Tiki Tribe.
Oh, that's getting to all levels of deep. So I guess moving on, in some other Donkey Kong related news, our good friend Diddy Kong has been announced as a returning character for Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS.
At first when he was shown, I was kind of surprised because I didn't think they'd show another character so soon after Little Mac.
Yeah, that's true. But like if we talked about this before, right? Like we were saying, like Diddy Kong was probably gonna be released when the game was released.
Well, I was figuring it was gonna happen last week because that's when it was released in Japan, but instead we got Little Mac.
You sound almost disappointed when you said that.
Well, it's just my prediction was wrong. Like, it's no big deal, but it's not what I was expecting.
Oh well. We just got Little Mac and Diddy Kong like in a week, right? So.
But I guess Zelda was shown pretty soon after Rosalina, so.
Yeah, I guess it's not such a big deal with people who are returning characters.
Yeah.
Now we just have to see Meta Knight for the release of for the English release of Triple Deluxe, and Yoshi for Yoshi's New Island, and then we'll like our predictions will all be right.
Huh. I guess we'll have to see.
I guess we will. What did you think about all the screenshots they showed with Diddy Kong? The picture they showed actually kind of like creeps me out a little bit.
With his extended arms.
Yeah, and his fists get like really like freakishly large.
Yeah. The fur rendering is really bad in Smash Bros. That's really my first thought when seeing the screenshots.
Yeah, especially with like Donkey Kong and stuff.
Yeah. Like I understand that with Tropical Freeze, they really have to get that right.
Yeah.
But in Smash Brothers, it's kind of like, Yeah,
Well,
it's...
I'm looking at the picture now, and I didn't even notice it until you mentioned it. But like, DK, the picture of him with DK, his hair is like really blurry and like weird looking.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you didn't point that out now. It's bothering me.
Oh, man.
But on the flip side, like, it's not like you're going to be looking at your characters in Smash Bros. Really up close. I'm not trying to defend it. I know it sounds like I am, but um, like you're not going to be viewing them up close, right? Like it's you kind of see them from far away.
Yeah.
Everything's going on so fast.
But, I mean, like, some characters just look so good, like Marth and,
You would
well,
say that.
pretty much every other character.
Just specifically Marth, because he's Fire Emblem, and I
But
love Fire Emblem.
he's so handsome.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, the texture work on Little Mac's clothes, that looks really good.
Oh, DDD's clothes. That was impressive. But they just don't want to do hair.
Yeah, it's just not something they really want to do this time.
Yeah. Did Diddy's peanut gun like explode like it shows in the thing in Brawl?
It could, yeah.
Oh, I don't think I ever remember seeing that happen.
I think beyond his arms stretching out like that, everything's the same.
Yeah. Also, his bananas are back, which is just hilarious. Because I hope they're like really, really a lot more effective now. Because like Sakurai said he didn't want to do tripping, but like the bananas are forced tripping.
Yeah.
So like I hope we can just spam them everywhere.
Well, my understanding is that in the tiers for a competitive Smash, Diddy's like super high up. So
Yeah, he's just really hard to play.
yeah. It's kind of funny that they didn't update his character model to represent Tropical Freeze.
Like give him his backpack.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just an HD version of what was in Brawl.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Like, it's still early too, right? I don't know. I feel like I need to defend Smash Bros. Because
I don't know. I kind of feel we're getting at the point where you can't really say it's early anymore because, I mean, that game's going to be out sometime before the end of December, and I mean,
yeah.
you'd think they'd have those things down at this point.
Well, they could always extend it again.
I think Iwata would have to commit seppuku if that happened.
Yeah, it's true. People would be so upset. I know, because remember how many times Brawl got pushed back? People
Mm-hmm.
are like, "What are you doing?"
Thank you very much, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic. Ugh. We didn't even want you here anyways. Anyways, I guess Diddy Kong's not a new character, so there's not really a lot to talk about regarding him.
That's pretty much it.
So on to the next topic, Michael.
Alright. So, you've finally been able to have some good hands-on time with Steel Diver. What do you think?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I recently I purchased it, so I have the full version now. I haven't played any of the missions yet. Like I played the first and second mission, which were in the free version, and I've got gold medals in all of them except for level 3 of the second mission because it's so difficult. Just doing it under 5 minutes is like tough. Did you finish it?
I don't have a gold medal in that mission, but I did clear all 7 missions.
Yeah. So I haven't tried any other ones, but from the sound of the descriptions, it looks like fun. I've been playing a lot of multiplayer, and I purchased a sub. I purchased a DLC sub, which was the Sentoku, whatever, the number, and it's like a big Japanese sub. It's a real life sub.
Yeah, the aircraft carrier.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's really good. It's got a lot of torpedoes, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
As for multiplayer, actually, I have one gripe with the online, or not the online yet. We can talk about the online. I have several gripes with online, but with the single player, I found when you were doing missions where you had to um, like destroy all the ships, all the other ships,
Yeah.
and you had 5 minutes to do it to get the gold, and you'd be down to one enemy, and you would just have no idea where they are. Like I know it shows them in the grid, like you can look in the map,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows you like roughly, but those areas are still so large, and like it's so easy to just miss a sub in the distance or like go past if it's beside you a little bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be like it should direct you towards like the last sub or like something. I don't know. And I really enjoy multiplayer, except the online is kind of weird because I've been getting kicked out a lot when I try to connect. There's a lot of network errors that
Yeah.
just boot me back to the menu. And it reminds me of Brawl actually, like how bad the connection issues with Brawl were. So it makes me wonder if Sub Wars was like rushed out. Um, but other than that, like there's some other things I really wish it had. Like for example, me and Michael, me and you, we were trying to play together, but there's no option to play with your friends. Like you can't find your friends and fight them. Like we were basically trying to go into regional mode. We
Yeah.
both live in Canada, and just like hoping that we would just show up with each other. But we never did because there's too many people playing. Even though it's probably a good thing for Michael because I just totally own him, but
As if.
I guess we'll never know because there's no friend fighting option. Well, I'll have to drive to Lethbridge just to sub wars you.
Well, Giles Godard, the main programmer and CEO of Vitae, the studio that made Steel Diver, he's actually been fairly active on Twitter the past few days, and I kind of think they're actually going to do an update for it because he retweeted someone's request for friend invites and leaderboards, so I think it's something he definitely wants to add into the game.
Yeah, leaderboards would be a good idea too, because I don't even. What level can you even go up to in Steel Diver? I have no idea.
I know you can get up to level 43. I saw someone with that level.
Yeah, I saw someone who was 38, I think, is the highest I saw.
But I actually sent Giles a tweet myself, and what I sent him, he liked it, he favorited it. And you know what it was?
What?
I asked him for a DLC Blue Marine sub from Star Fox with a Star Fox crew.
Were you thinking of that since I got the mechanic sets?
No, I was thinking of that because a lot of the people that worked on Steel Diver worked on Star Fox.
Yeah, I know. Like I've been thinking about that too. Like but more since I got this Nintendo mechanic set, and it's like a little model kit, and it has the three submarines from Steel Diver in it, and it also has all three of the Star Fox vehicles: the Landmaster, Blue Marine, and the R-Wing. So,
yeah.
And you know that picture I took of it that we had on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, since I saw that, like, why, I don't know, and we were talking about that even too, like, if it had been, like, a secret sub at the end of the game, it was just something that they threw in there as, like, a kind of thing, that'd be really good. I like that.
But, I mean, I'm not saying it's happening, but, you know, he now has the idea in his head, and he seems to like it, so...
Well, they already have Pepe's artwork in the game, so it wouldn't be too hard.
Well... I'd want them to give him, like, a genuine Star Fox appearance with, you know...
Like with his, like, visor, or his little, like, eye thing?
No, like the bandana and, like, the flight suit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good idea. I'm glad you tweeted him. Did you tweet him that as your own Twitter, or as, Let's Talk Nintendo?
As my own.
Oh. Michael.
What?
Michael.
Hey, at least he likes the idea.
You're not allowed to have a life outside of Let's Talk Nintendo anymore.
Well, no. I'm gonna keep going on with my life.
Alright, fair enough. What's your favorite online map?
The aquarium.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say the same thing. It's just so funny. Like, I didn't see the thing come up, so like when I first started playing in that map, I was like, what am I? Like, what is this? and I realized it was a fish tank, and I was like, no, no.
Well, it's just a really pretty looking map. I mean, like a lot of them, they're big, rock caverns and not really much to see, but
Yeah.
You've got the rock bed and the treasure chests and
Well,
the fake plants.
I like because in the normal maps you don't have very much visibility,
Mm-hmm.
but like in the fish tank, like you can see like all the way across it.
Yeah.
It's like a real fish tank. Like the water's clear. Like it's not like dark blue like the ocean, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely put a lot of effort into that map.
Yeah, it's just a fun one. I like it. It's good. I feel like I say that all the time. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very hard to displease me.
Well, unless it's about Ridley in Smash Bros.
No! He will be in Smash Bros. Though. I am 100% positive. Just so everyone knows, me and Michael have a bet going on right now, a money bet.
We do not. We do not.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
If Ridley is in Smash Bros., Michael owes me $50. If Ridley is not in Smash Bros., which he will not be, I owe Michael $50. So, Michael, prepare to lose $50.
Well, just remember this. I thought Crystal was going to be a shoo-in for Brawl, and all she got was a cameo on the Lilac Cruise stage.
What was her cameo?
If you do the special taunt with the Star Fox characters, she'll talk to you.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Sure, like little thing comes up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. So is there any other DLC you'd like to see?
Not particularly. I mean, the Star Fox is really my big one.
Yeah. What do you think about the price? 99 cents for a submarine.
It's not bad. I mean, I paid more for DLC, and
yeah,
realistically, I don't think they even sell DLC. Period. I don't think they sell stuff for less than $1.
Yeah, I don't think you can really get anything. I think it'd be better though if they had like packs, like sub packs.
Oh, one thing I forgot that I'd like to see changed in Steel Diver. None of the characters have names in that game.
Oh, like the crew?
Yeah. It drives me crazy. Like, they don't need to have crazy pun names, but I just like to have something so it feels like, they're actually a part of my crew.
What, you mean Brute B isn't enough?
No, it's not enough.
What's up with Brute D, I think? He's like one of the ones you find online. Is he like a frogman, or is his head just inside of his coat?
I'm not sure.
He looked like, because that thing looks like lips. Do you agree?
Just remember that the character designer is the same guy that designed the F-Zero characters.
Yeah.
So there's some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah. I haven't gotten... It's so hard to find characters on there, too. Like... Or, like, they'll get stolen by the other team all the time, and I'm like, no.
The worst part is when you get duplicates. And yes, you can get duplicates of the same character.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
I was hoping you couldn't do that.
Oh no, it is quite likely to happen.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
It's Steel Diver.
Well, I just have to play more. Anyways, I have to catch up with you in levels. Did you play any today?
No, today's been pretty much Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong all day. For life. So, I guess, is there anything else you want to talk about Steel Diver?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well between this episode and last week's.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna have to change this to Steel Diver Indirect.
Yeah.
So there's one more point that Michael wanted to talk about. And this is just something, it's not even really related to Nintendo, it's just related to video gaming in general. And it's affects Canadians only. because apparently the Canadian dollar has been doing a little bit worse against the U.S. dollar lately, and because of this, EB Games as well as some other game stores, and I think most physical stores are following in suit.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
Best Buy, I know for sure, is doing it.
which it doesn't make sense because it does because it's just them getting more money, right? They're like, all right, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
But they're raising the price of video games between $5 and $10, and we're already seeing this happen. I know one of my friends, he pre-ordered the new Castlevania game, and it cost him $70 for the game.
Jeez. Now, was that like a collector's edition, or?
No, that's just the regular game, because it would have been maybe 60 or 65, right, normally? And then it's boosted up to 70 now, 69.99, where it would have been 59.99.
That is brutal.
Yeah, because video game collecting, or even video game playing, not even necessarily collecting, is pretty expensive as it is. That's part of the reason why I really like 3DS and Wii U, because the games are cheaper overall, like versus PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3 games. Um, but you said it's even affecting the price of Wii U games, right?
Yeah, like in the U.S., Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, a flat $50. But here it's 55 now.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It's kind of like how books are sold here too. Like we have a Canadian price and an American price when it doesn't even make sense. That was more when the Canadian, like the dollars were equal. You'd have a book that's $10 in the U.S., but here we pay $15 for it. And we're like, what gives?
But what should get you really upset though is that economists want the dollar to be at this value, so you're gonna have to get used to this because the prices are not gonna be going back down anytime soon.
Yeah. If anything, they'll just go up higher.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't seem to be affecting everything right now. Like, I checked with Bravely Default, and its price is the same between here and the U.S.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll affect 3DS games as much.
Well, what I'm thinking is that the mentality people have is that handheld games aren't worth as much as console games.
Yeah.
So I hope we're not going to see them pushing past $40.
Yeah.
Because I think if they do that, it's just going to be, too much for people to swallow at that point.
Yeah, it's like when is a line drawn where when you say you can't like purchase a game? Because like there's a point when like you have to make a decision if you want to buy a video game or if you want to get groceries or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like there's other things you can spend that money on. For some people are just like whatever, dollar bills, right? Like
Yeah.
but I don't know. It makes me sad because like before, like in like the early 2000s and stuff like that, like video games were pretty cheap. Like it was like $40 for like a new PS2 game or a GameCube game. And just since then, they've steadily just been going up and up and up and up in price. And
well, remember back when games were in cartridges, they were like crazy expensive
they were
back then.
yeah, for like SNES and stuff like that, it was like $70 for a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that, and that was bad too.
But I mean, like, you'd think being on DVDs now, like, okay, 50, maybe 60, but don't make me pay more than that.
Yeah. Like, I could get, I don't like buying a $60 game, but I can live with it.
Yeah.
It's not past the point. But, like, $70 is really pushing it for me. And it's bad enough that, like, you know how a lot of big budget games, not Nintendo games specifically, but like things like, I don't know, like The Last of Us and stuff like that, like other huge games that millions of dollars go into developing them, and they're just like these AAA blockbuster games. And it's like you need to sell them for more in order to recuperate the costs
Yeah.
that you put into that. And to me, that's just like it obviously directly affects the consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
I'm just concerned about Mario Kart, because, I mean, a game
You're
that good
you're like,
looking.
I don't care about any other games. I just don't want Mario Kart to be more expensive.
A game that good looking can't be cheap to develop for. So,
yeah.
Are we going to be seeing that game for $65 or $70?
If it was $65, I would still buy it just because it's Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart Wii, I played so much. Like, that is probably my most played Wii game. I just spent so much time online, just like ripping it up, just making other people just cry across the world. Oh, it was good. It's good times. So, like, to me, $65 for Mario Kart is justifiable. $65 for Smash Bros. Is justifiable because these are games I know that I'll be playing for a long time. We'll be talking about them for a long time, and they're like keystone like games, right? In Nintendo's kind of plan. Like they're games that everybody always wants. But say if they made like a new Super Mario Bros. Wii U 2, would I pay $65 for that? Probably not.
What about something like Hyrule Warriors?
That one's hard because to me, because it's not since it's third party developed, I feel like it's worth less. If it was Nintendo developed, I would be more willing to spend money. I know that's kind of weird, but like just because I think like if Nintendo's developing it first hand, like it's gonna be like a better quality, even though that's not necessarily true.
Well, it's a Muso game. You know what you're getting into.
No, I know exactly what I'm gonna get. So that's why I would say no. I wouldn't want to pay $65 for the game.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like on the flip side, I'd also expect it to be $65 coming from Muso, or like coming from Tecmo Koei, because
they love to gouge.
Well, it's like any third party company, right? Like, or like even I find that like most companies besides Nintendo are really in it for like the money. Like Nintendo's in it for the money, obviously they're a company, but they also know that product or consumers draw like a line between like cost and playability, right?
Yeah. Well, at least with Zelda Muso, it's going to be published by Nintendo, so it's not going to be like, Koei's setting the price, but
yeah,
we'll just have to see when that comes.
Yeah. But overall, in total, I just think it's bad news for everyone.
Yeah.
For Canadians, I guess. U.S. has got it easy still.
Yeah. It's just funny. It took so long for prices to become par. Now that the dollar's going weak, they change the prices so quickly.
Yeah, it's like it hasn't even been weak for that long, and they're like, move now, move. I really just hope we don't end up getting to the point of like Australia, because like Australia pays like $100 for a game.
I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, I know it's not. I think that's why like gaming in general isn't like that big there, because it's such a an expense barrier. Like it's like especially there you have things like they have like water shortages and stuff like that. So it's like, do I pay for extra water or do I buy like a game?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it actually works. I don't live in Australia, so correct me if I'm wrong, any Australian listeners. But yeah, that's about all I have to say on that, I guess.
Yeah, I can't really say much more than that.
And I guess I guess we're done for the night then.
Okay.
So sorry, it was kind of a slow news week this week, so kind of had to. Well, I think it's still good discussion, but
yeah, I had fun.
It's not like huge news. Like we're not blowing up your screens and nothing like that. But yeah, thanks for listening. This was Nintendo Indirect. I'm Joel.
And I'm Michael.
And I guess you can listen to us next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.